Hi there. So, stellar for this session, and Wyckoff stage plus resistance of all levels, as well as any daily trend that the charts are telling us. So let's dive in. Quickly, the weekly chart looking at these Wyckoff tags, and previously for stellar, I mentioned that there may be two sets of things happening, right? So you've seen both the orange tags, that's the accumulation stages, and also the blue tags, that's the distribution cycle tags. The reason I have these two instead of just distribution cycle, it's mainly because I put in a question or a hypothesis over there for these orange ones, right? If stellar is having a different accumulation cycle base, so meaning it went all the way at this low level, right, back in 2022 all the way to 2024. It rose much later than some other altcoins, and then when it eventually comes down now, obviously we can say it's similar to the 2021 kind of scenario, the distribution cycle. Let me change back to this view so you can see. So it came down to these levels, which is where we are now. Actually, you see the kind of level, these two circles, right? So what I'm trying to say is the blue tags are more are of higher probability, let's put it this way. However, there's one possibility as well. So remember Doctor Strange, yeah? One possibility that this over here, if the new accumulation cycle for 2025 for stellar is going to be at this level, like the selling climax, if it happens to be here, you see the SC, right? If that's really the case, then we might as well have them tagged and see how this eventually develops, because it can happen that there are cycles that are at a higher level. So let me try to pick one example and see whether yeah, exactly, Avalanche already has it. So in 2024 it has a higher accumulation level compared to 2022-23. However, as of this moment it comes back down to the lower level. So back to stellar, we don't exclude possibilities when, well, especially for myself, I look at different possibilities when I look at the chart. So I don't subjectively eliminate them too early, because we'll miss at a certain point we'll miss something if we determine too early this must be it. We can't be, at least I won't be going to that absolutely certain path, because we know this is a changing chart and the world dynamics is changing every day. So it's better to list out all possibilities and then assess along the way. So that's the way I do it. So having said that, if this is really the case, what's currently over here showing us this bounce, this little tip, it can either be another sign of weakness, or like one of these is the second test in terms of accumulation cycle. So it can be either one of those. I'll try to make these bigger, like the other charts. I turned them to, I think, 28 because it would be easier, because even if I enlarge it to this level, for people watching on mobile device, I understand it's a little bit difficult for you to see these alphabets or characters. So I'll update all the charts eventually so the text look larger, so it's easier for everybody. So back to the chart and the key levels. So yellow line at around 19 cents 50. That's the first key support level. We've seen this sign of weakness coming down, almost touching it to test this level. Currently we are kind of lucky because the earlier sign of weakness, this one over here, the two candles were at that level. That's why this time it kind of followed the same in the past 2 weeks. So it went a little bit lower than that, but not as low as that round that it finds this support at the yellow line. The next support, obviously, you can say there is an intermediate one at this level at around 13 cents 60 or 14 cents, like roughly give and take. And then the bottom would be around 7 cents. Resistance level. Last week, tested. Previous 2 weeks, also tested and rejected as well. That's around 27 cents. That's where the white line is. And the next one obviously is this purple line that's extended from the automatic reaction when the price fell down from the buying climax. That's around 33 cents 50 roughly. Let me extend this line as well because the chart has moved along. Daily. Here we go. The downward trend continues. Currently, you see this. Let me enlarge this. Always a challenge for me to remember. I have to make this real big so people on mobile phones can see. So here, we are approaching, or the price is approaching this center line, this blue line over here. So you see why this is slowing down. So it has to find sufficient force to push it upward in order to test this white line over here before it even tests the top edge of the blue box. So that's the tricky part when I enlarge the chart, because it's difficult for you to see the blue box, or like if the box gets a little bit large, we can't see both. Like we have big candles but then small box, or like we zoom in so much that we don't see the box. So the blue one over here, we see the box as well as the center line. So here, that's where we are. So some people would say, yeah, there's like a head and shoulder kind of thing. Yeah, it's okay if you like to see it that way. Well, some people would argue there's an inverse head and shoulder as well, but then this one doesn't go as high as that leg, right? So yeah, it's all interesting analysis. And then, while we're talking here, if it really got rejected from this center line, I think I already mentioned last week, your smart eyes probably have noticed this triangle already. Or the price is getting cornered, so it has to break either one of the lines. Either it breaks the center line and go up and test the white line, or it breaks this yellow support line and go seek a lower price. So I have talked about the support levels earlier on, so I'm not going to repeat again. Only the one that's dynamic is this blue box bottom line that's trending down. So depending on when the price breaks downward, it will eventually test this level before hitting the next key support levels that I mentioned in the weekly chart. So that's all for